In this session, we'll be doing our first login to the administrative GUI on our new ISE node, and then spending a few moments to get familiar with the capabilities of that administrative GUI. Okay, let's go ahead and open our browser here on the admin PC. The admin PC in the lab has been pre-set up with bookmarks to make life a little easier. We'll click on the one for ISE1 and notice that we get a warning immediately regarding a security issue. And if we click on advanced, we see this is due to the self-signed certificate that is created at install for ISE. This is something that we'll work through in terms of trust issues in a subsequent session. For now, we'll accept the risk and continue and get prompted for credentials. Again, although this is an identically named account, let's get the case correct there. This is an identically named account to the one that is created at install for the command line operations. This is a separate account for GUI administration. And with this being the first access to the GUI, we get some reminders from Cisco. This one regarding smart call home telemetry, letting us know that Cisco is collecting information about our usage. And this is something that we can choose to opt out of if we want to later on. And then clicking next here, we get a license warning. The ISE node that we've got in this lab environment is set up with an evaluation, 90-day evaluation license. And we can see that all these are potentially expiring within the next 89 days or next 90 days. We'll accept that warning and close that. That should be the last time that we see those warnings. And then as defaulted, as we arrive here in ISE, the first screen that we're looking at is the Home tab. And within the Home tab, we can see some general helpful summary information along the top. And then down below, dashlets or widgets, if you wish, are applied to the Home tab, helpful information, and we can modify and add to these dashlets if we wish. Right now, this Home tab is pretty empty because we have just set up our ISE node and haven't really had any communications. One endpoint is showing up here that is interacting with our ISE, but for the up until the point where we get network devices established and authentication on behalf of endpoints, this screen will remain pretty empty. I'm going to hide this little box here regarding the wireless setup and visibility setup so we can see the gear icon behind it. And notice with the gear icon that we can add a new dashboard, and we can also modify this existing dashboard by adding dashlets to it. By adding a new dashboard, we've got multiple options. In addition to the gear icon, we can also use this plus symbol. We'll create a quick temporary dashboard. And then as we create that new dashboard, we can add dashlets to that dashboard, and it will show up for us. And you can see our own purpose-built dashboard for our purposes. Again, we can add to this dashboard, rename it, export it, and we can modify how the layout works within the dashboard itself and how the widgets and dashlets align within that dashboard. Okay, we'll go ahead and remove this temporary dashboard. We can click on the little X there. And real quick while we're in here, let's take a look through these top layer menu options. There's context visibility and endpoints. Notice so we've got different context visibility options for users, network devices, and applications. Endpoints gives us a quick view of the operating endpoints within our environment, the type of operating systems they have, the ones that are active and inactive, and the network devices that they've been interacting with. And we can customize these dashboards also. Then there's the Operations tab. We spent a lot of time in here looking at things like live logs and live sessions, separate live log for TACAC server operations. And then this is also where we would do troubleshooting tools and running reports. And then there's the Policy tab, which contains the configuration area for policy sets, which contains our authentication and authorization policy for Radius. There's a separate policy sets area for TACAX management. There's also general policy configuration in for posturing or health policy, compliance policy, if you wish. Policy elements, the components that make up different parts of policy, so dictionary elements, DACLs, authorization profiles, etc. A distinct policy for the profiler, so it can determine which devices are which by virtue of the profiling policy that's in there. And then as an optional component, which we'll see applied later on, client provisioning policy, which applies installation packages towards particular endpoints. Client provisioning allows us to define which groups and which devices get which applications. And then there's the administration tab where we can control system elements, identity resources, external identity and internal identity resources, network devices, network access devices, basic portal management, PX grid, feed services, such as the one needed for profiler, and then configuration areas for third-party vendors and threat-centric NAC. Okay, we just got done doing our initial login to the administrative GUI. Lots of work has been done in here by Cisco to try and provide quick and easy to use details. Notice that one aspect of the new to recent additions to version 2.3 that we've got these quick search boxes, which are very, very helpful. You can type in just a few characters, case and colons don't matter in terms of trying to find elements within these boxes. And these views show up in virtually all the screens that we're looking at. So lots of work has been done to make this easier to use, to drill down, find additional details, and search for that thing that you might be looking for in terms of identifying problems or potential issues.